Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the 12th tutorial in this course, and in this tutorial we are going to talk about operator precedence. Now, this is something that you really don't know, unless you're a student and you have to write an exam on C, or if you plan to go for job interviews. Operator precedence is something that people talk about a lot, and particularly during job interviews, and you might see questions in your exam papers if you're a student. A lot of questions on operator precedence, but trust me, it's something that you really don't have to know. You can pass without knowing what operator precedence is, but I'm just gonna spend one tutorial and talk about what it is, and I'm gonna keep this tutorial short and sweet. That's enough of me talking, and let's just get straight into things. So I've saved this file. It's called operator_precedence.c. On line 1 you have the header file, on line 2 you have the main function, the curly braces, and we can type in our code. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 5 integers. Yes, I'm going to create 5 integers, and I'm going to call them A, B, C, D, E, 5 variables, and all of them are going to be of the integer data type. So A, comma B, comma C, comma D, comma E, and I'll put a semicolon to terminate the statement. Now I'm going to give values to 4 of these variables. I'm going to initialize A, B, C, and D, and then I'm going to perform an arithmetic operation and assign the value of that expression to the variable E, and then we're going to print the variable E, and then we're going to talk about operator precedence. So I'll give A the value 10, and on the same line I'll just put a semicolon and give B the value 5, and I'll give C the value, well, what value should I give to C? Give C the value 5 too, and I'll give D the value 10. Okay, so all 4 of these values are integer values, so sure, C is not going to have any problem with this. And now I'm going to perform an arithmetic operation, and it's going to be A divided by B plus C multiplied by D, right? And I'll put a semicolon, and I'll give the value of this thing to E by placing the assignment operator between the variable E and the expression, right? So this thing is going to be evaluated, and the result of the expression is going to be stored in the variable E. Now let's see what gets stored in E, and then we're going to talk about what has happened. So result of the expression is, and since E is an integer, we'll have to use the %d format specifier here, and I'll just have to type in the symbol E to see the value that gets stored in the variable, and save the file and click on build and run to see the output, and you see that the result of the expression is 52. But hang on, should we have got 52 or should we have got something else? Now we've divided A by B, so 10 divided by 5 is 2, and then that had to be added to the variable C, so 2 plus 5 has to be 7, and then that had to be multiplied by D, and since D is 10, 7 times 10 is 70, but what we're getting as the output is 52. And the reason why that is the output is that the division operator and the multiplication operator, these operators enjoy higher priority than the addition operator. And what I mean by that is that there is this order of precedence of operators, right? So there's this chart that you can memorize if you want to, and in that chart the division operator happens to be before the addition operator, and also the multiplication operator happens to be before the addition operator. So these two operators, the division and multiplication operators, they enjoy greater priority over the addition operator and as well as the subtraction operator, right? So what has happened instead is that 10 was divided by 5, the result of that is 2, and then C was multiplied by D, so 5 times 10 is 50, and then the two things were added, so 2 plus 50 is 52, and that's why you see 52 is the output here, right? So that's because as I said, there is this chart which you can memorize, and I tried to do it once and it's really very boring, so I just skipped doing that. And there's always a smart way of doing things, and I use parentheses, And if suppose you want to do something different in this expression, let's suppose you want to add b and c first and then divide a by the result of the addition of b and c and then multiply that thing, the entire thing, with the value that's stored in d. You can do that. It's still possible. And the way in which you do that is by using parentheses, right? So you put b plus c in one set of parentheses and you put a divided by b plus c in another set of parentheses. So what C would do now is it would perform the operation in the innermost parentheses in the expression, and the innermost parentheses happens to contain b plus c. So b plus c would be performed first, so 5 would be added to 5 and the result of that is 10, and then a would be divided by the value that is obtained when b is added to c. So 10 by 10 or 10 divided by 10 is 1, and then 1 would be multiplied to d. D has 10, so 1 times 10 is 10. So if let me just save this program, and I'll have to close this window first to execute the program again. I click on build and run, and you see that the result of the expression now is 10. So as I said earlier, I prefer using parentheses because sometimes if your expression is long, then it would just be difficult for you to remember the order of precedence, and it's just more convenient to use parentheses. And sometimes it can get a little cumbersome if you're using parentheses. It might get difficult for you to see the code or understand it, but trust me, when you're typing in code and when you're evaluating expressions, then it's always more convenient to use parentheses than it is to remember the order of precedence or to keep the chart with you all the time as a reference table or something. So that's it for this tutorial. I just wanted to talk about operator precedence a little, and in the next tutorial we're going to discuss something interesting again. And thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and please subscribe to my channel in case you haven't already. See you soon.